Hey teachers, in this video, I want to share with you a program called Whiteboard.fi. And I love this one because it reminds me of when I was in the classroom and I had those cute little whiteboards and I would have my kids, do a problem on it real quick, hold it up to show me, and then erase it and try again, or try a new problem. And so you can do that same type of activity virtually. And I really think that this is great for guided reading. I also think it's great for recursive review in math or even problem solving in math. And I think it's really going to keep your kiddos engaged. And the other thing I really like about it is it shows you what your kids are doing in real time so that you can kind of address any misconceptions or, help a student out if they need help. So you're just going to go to whiteboard.fi and then click new class. And then you can type in your name here. And I'm going to leave these settings. You can check these out and see what you think about them, but I'm just going to leave it open and click create new class. And it's that easy to get started. I love that kids don't need a username and password. They just need a room code. So this is the room code. And so what my kids are going to do, I can share this with my kids a couple of different ways. Probably the easiest way would be just to copy and paste this code into the chat box in Zoom because you're kind of going to be doing this live with them. So you can copy the URL and post it into the chat there in Zoom. And then all the kids have to do is click on that. Now, the other way that they can get in is they can type in the same web address, whiteboard.fi. And what it's going to do, it's kind of auto signing me in, but what it's going to do is it's going to allow them to enter a code. And then what they can do is enter this code here. So you could give them that code. But again, I think the easiest thing would be to copy this and post it there into your Zoom chat. That way your kids can get on easily. And so then when I scroll down or when I get a student in, let me go ahead and get a student in so you can see what it looks like. H7, I'm just on a separate device. 2V, join class. And now I'm in. The kids will then need to put their name. And so, again, since there's not like a specific login, you'll want to just tell them to make sure they put their own name. So I went ahead and put my son in here. I'm going to click this toggle to my whiteboard button. That's going to take me to my teacher whiteboard. Now, I can go ahead and have my kids right now on a blank whiteboard. And I can just tell my kids to write, for example, 5 plus 2. So I can write it on mine and say, okay, I want you to write this same thing, 5 plus 2 equals. And I'm going to, on my other device, I'm on my phone right now so that you can see, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Like pretending as if I'm the student, 5 plus 2 equals, and you can see my writing popping up in real time. And I can go ahead and answer that as the student. And so the teacher can see all of her kids' whiteboards here and see whether they're doing the work and if they need help. Now, the other thing I can do as the teacher is I can actually push this slide to my students. So let me just add a new slide here. And I'm going to click on that slide and I'm going to do another problem. But this time, I am going to push this slide to my kids so they don't have to write this. They just have to give me the answer. So when I click push, I can push this. I can push all the pages to my kids at once, but I kind of recommend doing it separately so that y'all are staying together as a class. So I can push this current page to my kids, or I can push it as a background. Now, since I've written it out, I can do either one of these. If I'm posting a picture here and I want them to kind of annotate on top of that picture, I would want to push it as a background. So I'm just going to go ahead and model that. So when I press push to students, now what the student is going to see is this slide. And they are going to be able to answer that question. So again, I'm going to click push and push to students as background. And now my students will see this and they will be able to go ahead and just write in the answer themselves. So let me scroll down to show you that I have written just the answer in. So another thing you can do is you can put, like I was mentioning before, you can put an image in the background. So I'm going to click Insert Page again. And this time I'm going to click that image button. And I have saved some images to my computer. Let me just show you how I did that. I have this activity here. Basically, it's just for them to circle which one rhymes. And in order, if you have a slides activity, to get them as images, you're going to click File, Download, and then you can choose JPEG here, and that's going to download this page as an image. That way I can put it into my whiteboard. So let me go back, and I'm going to click that image button here, and I just downloaded that page, and I click Open here, and it pops onto my whiteboard. Now I'm going to share this or push this to my kids using this push button. And since it's an image, I'm going to do it as a background. Otherwise, the kids can move the image all around and it kind of gets them a little messed up. So I'm going to go ahead and push this as a background. And then you can see, I'm going to show you on the student end that I will be able to now complete that problem. Let me just push that one more time. All right, there it is on the student end. And now I can circle the correct answer as the student. And you can see here, I circled the correct answer as the student. Again, you'll see all your kiddos listed here. Another example, so this was like a guided reading example, maybe. I can also do maybe a math problem here. So let's say I have maybe a PDF or something like that, I can use that snipping tool. So I'm going to come down here, type in snipping tool, click on it, and I want to get an image of just one word problem. So I'm going to put this little X or a little plus sign here, and I'm going to capture just this one little box. Oop, and I kind of messed up there, but you get the idea. And now I can save this. I can do file save as. I'm going to try and see if I can just copy it really quick. I've never tried this, so we'll see. It doesn't look like it. So I'm going to have to save that image. Here it is at the bottom where my snip was. I'm going to do a file save as, and I can save that to my desktop or wherever I want to save it. And now I'm going to come back to my whiteboard, choose that insert image, and then I can find that image right here and pop it right in here. And then remember, when you're using an image as a background, you'll want to make sure that you push to the students as a background. That way, as the student, I can write here on the screen, and I'm just going to kind of do a little so you can see that I can now write on the screen. Now, let's say that you had all your kids do this problem and you wanted to save that information, maybe so you can grade it, or maybe just kind of as a mental picture for you to know which kids you need to have a new small group with, maybe the kids that are struggling. So I can capture all of my students' whiteboards by clicking right here on the little gear and click Save All Whiteboards as PDF. And then I can put a note like word problem or whatever it is. If I want to include the teacher whiteboard, I can, and click Save as PDF. And what it's going to do is actually save my whiteboard, but then also all of my kids. And if I had all my kids here, you would see a list of all of my kiddos and what they did on that whiteboard. Just in case I need to kind of document something, I can do that there. So this was a little overview of how you might use that Whiteboard.fi. Again, I think it's really great to use within your Zoom. You can have all your kids showing you what they know, especially during that math recursive review or during guided reading time. When I'm done with using my whiteboard, I can go ahead and close the room, and then my kids cannot get back into that room. They would have to join a new room for the next day or the next lesson. So again, when I click that closed room, it closes it, and then I would just start a new room for the next day. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you try out Whiteboard.fi.